Welcome, everybody, to Stay Curious. I'm your host, Mark Marquette. It's my pleasure to bring you this program on space news, views, astronaut birthdays, and a lot of wonderful interviews from space workers. But uh, today, Marty Winkle, my co-producer, and I've had a heck of a day. I've had quite an interesting day, and so we're lucky to pull off today's show. As many of you that have been in the American Space Museum know that I'm pretty much a one-armed paper hanger, and you know what? I'm happy about that because if I wasn't busy, I'd be very dismayed about the future of this museum, right, Marty? And the future looks bright because we had a tour group from American Cruise Lines in here today. Thank you, um, Elizabeth Schneider and her Galactic Medallions. We had 25 people taking a little afternoon trip, day trip off their cruise ship going to somewhere in the Caribbean down there. I didn't ask where. Did you catch where they were going, Marty?
Right now, they're going to the Space View Park.
Yes, Marty, but on their cruise on the
Oh,
boat. Where
no,
was the
sorry.
boat taking them?
No, no, sorry. No.
Okay, but oh my gosh, what a day! And a day I could have easily mailed it in a day after me up in Tennessee and everything. But I love it, because I love all of you out there that have been so important to us. And so let's kick off some space news today, Marty. We're going to talk a little bit about voting in space, and who casts? Well, Marty, you got a question today. We're gonna pull up there, but let's see. How about next Monday? We're gonna have Nick Thomas on. Nick and I are gonna shoot the breeze a little bit there. Marty was out and saw Nick yesterday. Said he'll be ready to come on the show next Monday. And I asked him to think about books that were some of his favorite books to read there. So we'll also touch on some November history, like Apollo 12 stuff on there. So there's Rosalie, there's Dean Babcock, and Doug Forrest, a talented artist. Steve Jokums, hello to you, my friend, up at Lake County Spaceport. Our Formula One drivers are in Brazil, Sao Paulo. Marty, I want to go to Sao Paulo. We know Jefferson Michaelis Foundation and his group that have been on the show. So I got places to stay, and I'd love to see the Formula One race around that beautiful circuit there. So, Steve, let's plan on that next year. All right, buddy. And happy Wednesday from Dave Stangy. It's Hump Days up in Macomb, Michigan. Uh, I have the breaking news comment. Has me looking forward to watching Stay Curious with you all today. Thank you so much. Uh, Never too early to put Christmas gifts on your list. That's right, like a membership to the American Space Museum for $100. We'll be talking about. What else is going on? Oh yeah, I just want to make aware they keep running this Capital One commercial with the Capital One guy, and Derek Jeter is the Hall of Fame Yankee player there, and that's Karen Nyberg is the astronaut, though they never mention either one's names. It's like you're supposed to know who they are, and they keep the audience, kids in the audience, keep asking the Capital One guy questions, not the astronaut. Jeter's saying to Karen right there, "You lived in space, right?" And she goes, "Yeah, you were in the Hall of Fame, right?" And so love that commercial. Wish they would identify Karen there. So we will. She did quilts in space. That's her big thing. And Karen Nyberg, thank you for what you do. She's pretty active in the space community, I believe. And how about this breaking news? Yeah, Jared's back, huh? Marty, how about that? You got an opinion about Jared Isaacman now being renominated by President Trump to head NASA? And this is a day after it surfaced that he had a manifesto that I'll go over that maybe tomorrow or Friday's show, seeing how much time I have. He has a manifesto that about saving the NASA and so forth. So personally, our opinions don't mean nothing here to nonprofit, but I'm glad for it. Of course, he was an astronaut twice, did a stand-up EVA there shown on the right, and he's really a good guy and a good family man. That's his, I think, elementary school sweetheart that he married, okay? And he has two daughters. Of course, he's a billionaire and a big flyer. I think he's got all kinds of high performance jets and stuff in his stable there. I like it that President Trump doubled back to have him be the leader. Uh, we talked about it a little bit about NASA administrators last week. I discovered that President Trump, his first term, waited 440 days uh, into his first term till he named Bridenstine the NASA administrator. So, Marty, you got any thoughts or heard any pulse of anybody out there?
Mark, be honest with you, this is the first I've heard about it.
Well, and that's stay curious, Marty. Keep coming back. Okay.
That's right.
Good. Yeah, we haven't had time to talk about nothing because I hit the ground running in here after having I got to a NASA luncheon and over Merritt Island and driving back in here. Dean Babcock's reading about the Chris Kraft book. That's definitely a book I need to read. That and also the book by George Abbey will be on my Christmas reading list this year on there. So, hi, Cliff Watson there. Good morning, bro. Hope the chemo is taking effect and helping you get healthy again, as Cliff is one of our great friends down in Australia. He's a great friend wherever he is, but Cliff is battling prostate cancer, and he's announced that to the world, so you men get your checkups, okay? Women get your breast cancer exam, men get that checked out for your prostate for sure, like I have, and I'm sure Marty has. So, let's see. Tom Celentano saying the Senate delayed Bridenstine's nomination a long time before he was confirmed, and yep, I'm sure politics as usual. So, but here's a guy that does have a vision for America. His vision does match Elon Musk's in many ways. I've heard him talk at a personal event, and he was very engaging, very humble, very non-rich type to me. And he said that he and Musk were going to keep building that Starship and crashing them until they worked, just like he did the Falcon 9. So, all right, so we'll see how that goes. All right, here's our question of the day. Marty's back to giving us a question of the day. This is a reprise from a year ago. Take it away, Marty Winkle.
Who was the first astronaut to cast a vote in the U.S. election from outer space and from where?
Okay, he's in outer space and where? Okay, kind of a two-sided coin there. Marty's throwing his hands up. Where'd you get that? I'm asking that question. Yes, Marty, this is last year's question there, so hang in there, my friend. We got some birthdays to go through on this November 5th, which is mine's November 3rd, and one of my best friends in life, Chuck Rogers from Findlay, Ohio, his birthday's also November 5th today, and he shares it with Robert Joseph Bob Senker. Okay, a one-and-done astronaut, born November 5th, 1948. So, but he was born and raised in Menallen Township near Pittsburgh. That's Menallen. There, Tommy Usiak Township near Pittsburgh. Tom's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Bob was a payload specialist for RCA Astro Electronics on the 7th flight of Columbia, STS-61C. Now, he was preceded on 51D by the first commercial astronaut, our friend Charlie Walker. This was the final mission before the Challenger disaster, and that's probably another reason why he didn't fly again, was he was a mission specialist. He was not a NASA astronaut, not on the payroll of our government as a NASA astronaut, so he had to go back in the aerospace industry, and he is a Penn State and Rutgers University graduate, and earning 2 Masters of Science degrees. So happy 76th birthday to you, Bob Senker, 1948. And Marty, you get a lot of astronaut autographs out there, like I enjoy doing. You think Bob would be mad at me if I said he's got one of the worst autographs ever? Whoops, excuse me. I did say it. Well, it's a little scrawly, okay, and very small. Right, Marty?
Yeah, but there's a few people like that.
Yes,
the
there are.
astronaut, yeah.
There's some that you don't even know it's their name.
Yeah, Jeff Williams, I just can't recognize his.
Oh, Jeff Williams?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen Jeff Williams. I need to get out there and see him.
I'll show it to you.
Huh?
I'll show it to you.
Okay. Is he out there tomorrow?
No, he was here last week. He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's out there now?
Ken Cameron.
Buckeye, Ken Cameron. Bob's out there 3 or 4 times a year. He's awesome. Gives a great talk. He can't help it. He only had one space flight. He got caught up in the Challenger thing, but he's very enthusiastic about his mission and loves sharing it. And he's one of the rarer astronaut autographs to get out there. So happy birthday to him.
Dave Stange birthday tomorrow.
Dave Stange? Who cares? We do. Okay, good for you, Dave. All right. November 8th. By the way, thank you all for raising over $300 on my birthday pledge on Facebook. If you've not donated a dime or two, you can still do that for another week or so, as that money goes directly into our general fund at the American Space Museum. That's the thing Facebook does for you non-Facebookers. You could raise money for your charity of choice, and of course, I just put a modest $200 there, and you've all responded with over $350, and I'll give you some love of that later. Well, another happy, but 4 astronauts born on November 5th. Number 2 is this one. All right, Charles Owen Hobaugh, born November 5th, 1961, in Bar Harbor, Maine. And he grew up in North Ridgeville, Ohio. That must be a Ridgeville. That sounds like a Cleveland suburb. His nickname is Scorch. A graduate of U.S. Navy Academy, he flew 3 space shuttle missions, STS-104 as a pilot, and STS-118 as a pilot, and then commander of 129, accumulating 36 days in space. Hobaugh was the re-entry and landing Capcom for the STS-107 mission, on which the space shuttle Columbia was destroyed on reentry. He is the one saying on the words over and over, Columbia, Houston, UHF Comcheck, several times after the mission had lost contact. Mission Control lost contact with Columbia, and he certainly knew after about 2 minutes that there was nothing there to talk to, as precise as these shuttles are. So Scorch Hobaugh is 64 years old today. Okay, born in 1961. And we've got a third birthday today. One of the, I believe they were classmates, but Benjamin Alvin Drew was born November 5th, 1962 in Washington, D.C. and grew up in Brooklyn. All right, Alvin Drew received his commission as a second lieutenant from the United States Air Force in May 1984. There's his accomplishments there, decorated colonel with over, in the USAF with over 25 years of service, and 12 hours of spacewalks, okay? Veteran of 2 shuttle missions, all right? For a long time, he was the last African American to go to space until I can see his face. Who's the Artemis 2 astronaut that went up on the Crew Dragon there? African American, Marty. I can see his face there. Victor Glover. So he was the last for a long time, really, over 9 years, almost 9 years. Last African American go to space on 133, and that is with there's Drew there in today's look that he's got. If you all don't know, one of the rarest patches to have, because they're only given to astronauts, is that 25 Mach 25 patch there below Drew's name, because only astronauts get those, and they rarely come up, and that's 25 times the speed of sound, re-entry speed of 17,500 miles an hour. And there is Alvin Drew with our good friend Nicole Stott, whose sleeping bag we have in our women's gallery, and that she used on the space station. Let's see, Drew he retired from NASA now, okay, but he is 63 years old today, Alvin Drew. So with Nicole Stott there, she's about that age also, I think. And also born on November 5th, it was Alan Poindexter, former shuttle commander. He was killed in a jet ski accident in 2012 at age 50. Very popular astronaut, Marty. A lot of people uh, talk about the great guy he is. That's Leland Melvin behind him on STS 131 when he was the commander of that mission, I believe is the patch there. He's also pilot on 122. So the late Alan Poindexter, nicknamed Dex, we honor him on what would have been his, let's see, it had been his 65th birthday today. God bless him. Died in 2012 in a jet ski accident with his two boys. A very tragic accident there. So, Dex, God bless you and your family. Well, Stars and Stripes always present here on the set of the American Space Museum. And so, why not talk a little bit about after yesterday's midterm elections, how that is done, and who cast the first votes from space? How did all that happen? And where's my notes on that, Marty? Are they laying over there on the desk?
I don't know, but I hope you find it.
I may get up and they're laying right there, I believe. Yep. No, the other one there. Yep, that one right there. Thank you, my friend. Pulled off some other notes in a Wikipedia voting in space. Okay. So yesterday was a midterm elections and some local elections here, and where you're at, I'm sure some local elections. There's the Stars and Stripes in our cupola of the International Space Station. Many people have cast votes during space flight. Voting from space has had some inherent difficulties, as delivering paper ballots to and from the space station won't really do. So the astronauts vote electronically. Some commute their voting intentions by proxy, meaning they give somebody else the permission to vote for them. All right. But the first people to vote from space, okay, were definitely the crew of Soyuz 11. All right, Georgy Dabrowski, Valdivakov, and Pastiev. They cast their votes from the Salyut 1 space station in the election for the 24th Congress in 1971 of the Communist Party. It said their votes were the first to be cast from space. All right. And in 19, so then cosmonauts voted by proxy. For example, during the 2011 legislative election, 2 cosmonauts gave their vote to the Cosmonaut Training Center employee there to gave them allowed to vote who they wanted to vote for there. So Russians were first, and frankly, this crew died on re-entry. All right, with the valve that let all the air out, and they peacefully suffocated upon reentry on Soyuz 11, the first space station docking. All right. So, but the first American is Marty's question. And who knows that? Anybody know that? Mitch Rothman up there in Colorado? Okay, he don't know. Dave Stange is the 6th. Okay, his is the 6th tomorrow, birthday. And go ahead and eat all the cake you can, because you don't know if you're going to be around for the next birthday when you start pushing the envelope there, guys. So who was the first astronaut to cast a vote in space, and from where was he or she? And that answer is one of my favorite astronauts who I have met, John Blaha. Yankee loving John Blaha. He was born in Brooklyn, I think. He was stationed aboard the Mir space station and requested permission to vote in the 1996 presidential election. But wait a minute, correction, he didn't get to vote. There he is with the baseball, top of the World Series. What World Series is that, Marty? I know. That'd be back in the Mir days, '96. Yeah, probably 90 the '95 World Series, I'd say. Uh, a NASA plan to allow Blaha to vote electronically was stopped by the Secretary of State of Texas. Pointed out that the state had no provisions for any electronic voting. The following year, Governor George Bush signed a bill originally, as governor then of Texas, George Bush, signed a bill originally sponsored by Representative Mike Jackson, whose district included Johnson Space Center, that allowed astronauts to vote electronically. The first person to vote using this method was who voted in Houston's local 1997 local elections was David Wolf, who voted aboard the Mir space station. He was swapped out for Blaha there. So since 2004, astronauts aboard the International Space Station have voted in all but one presidential election. All right. In order to vote while on board, astronauts must fill out the federal postcard application prior to departure from space to the International Space Station there, shown here, of course. Application prior to departure, the same application is used by military members stationed overseas. During the election, Johnson Space Center transmits a secure electronic ballot up to the space station. The astronauts are emailed credentials by the local county clerk. The ballot is then filled out and downlinked to Earth and emailed to the relevant county clerk. And the first American to vote for president in space was Leroy Chow, okay, in 2004. And then Kate Rubins voted on the ISS on two occasions, 2016 and 2020. All right. I had pictures of them there that I deleted. So sorry about that. So she got to vote twice. So really, the next good question would be, what astronaut voted twice in space? All right. While most astronauts live in and are registered to vote in Texas, some are registered elsewhere in the county. Drew Morgan, for example, voted in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania, and the County Department of Voter Services collaborated with NASA to allow Drew Morgan to vote in their local elections there. So there you know, voting in space up there today on Stay Curious up there. So got kind of a short show today, the way things have panned out. So hope that you've enjoyed that. RG Jubilee, Dean Babcock, Doug Forrest, Steve Jokums. We've got Gavri Mikas, okay. Thank you. Dave Stingy, Tom Celentano, who had a birthday about a week ago, I think. Cliff Watson down in Australia, and Mitch Rothman watching faithfully today, as usual. So anybody tell me if the Chinese made it back to space. I was looking at my app here. They're supposed to come back this morning, and they must have stayed up an extra day, okay? Because I don't see anything on my app. It had November 5th they were coming back. So we'll check up with that tomorrow then and see who's still in space, because I thought it was going to be 10 people in space with the Shenzhou 21 crew docking over the weekend, and that had 13 of them up there if 20 didn't come back. So I thought 20 was scheduled to come back this morning. It's been a busy day, and I can't get into it, but I didn't get into my social media until about when I walked in here for this wonderful tour by American Cruise Lines and our friend Elizabeth Schneider, a Galactic Medallion Tour. So at least 10 orbiting Earth, maybe 13. If those Chinese haven't come back, maybe it was weather. They land on land, like the Russian Soyuz that they copied on there. So there we are, our fruited plain across America at night. Isn't it just stunning how west of the Mississippi, all those states that aren't so light polluted like the East Coast and and east of the Mississippi there. I always like looking at that, Marty. There's always something to learn, though this, I don't think, this is not an actual photograph. All right. It might be a composite of photos there. So, then there is a rocket launch today, around about 10 minutes till 7 today. I think it's 6:48. That could be really a beautiful one. We, meaning me and Marty, will be enjoying a lasagna dinner with Bob Seek, the great launch director, and so much more, telling a little bit to a group of people at a NASA dinner fundraiser for us here at the American Space Museum. And let me get myself up there, as I was just mesmerized by the Earth back there. And thank you, Nick Thomas, for being here on Monday. Okay, on there, on Stay Curious. So let's see. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about on this episode of Stay Curious? All right. If not, we're going to go out early here and say that more current events. We do have another big tour here of 40-some people from American Cruise Lines that we hope they enjoy that. And I hope that you enjoyed today, looking at the birthdays today of Bob Sinker, 60, he's 77, Scorch Hobaugh, 64, and Alvin Drew, 63 years old today. So, Marty, anything over there?
Yeah, Dave Stenger is saying something about possible debris strike. So I think he's talking about the Chinese landing.
Oh, really? All right, Dave. Well, that'll make some good news tomorrow. So, or some news to catch up on. So, thank y'all for watching. And thank y'all for tolerating a little show today that is a bit off, but that's okay. We've only done 1,400 shows. They all can't be masterpieces, though I try to make them that way. And, of course, Marty always makes it that way. Thank you so much, Marty. Marty's done this now for 5 years with me. He does not have to do this. He's a tremendous volunteer at the American Space Museum. I know he enjoys having something to look forward to every day, as all of you in retirement do. And it means a lot that we have Marty so dedicated, as well as other volunteers here, like at the Space Museum, like John Smith, who helped out today. So until tomorrow, I'm Mark Marquette saying, I can't wait to see you again to bridge the space between us.